Right now, somewhere in your mouth, there is a quiet truce. Bacteria are working on your teeth. Your toothbrush is fighting back. A dentist stands by for when the truce breaks. Now take all of that away. No dentist, no toothbrush, no painkillers, just you, and a tooth that has started to throb. What did ancient humans do about toothache? Start with the bad news. Their teeth rotted just like yours. We have the skulls. We have the cavities. A toothache in the Stone Age was the same screaming nerve it is today, with one difference. There was no one to call. A bad tooth could swell the jaw, spread infection into the blood, and kill you. For most of human history, a tooth was not a minor problem. It was a possible death sentence, ticking quietly in your skull, so you would expect ancient humans to be helpless against it. They were not. In 2015, researchers examined a tooth from a man who lived in northern Italy around 14,000 years ago. Deep in the tooth was a cavity, and inside the cavity were tiny scratch marks. Someone had taken a sharpened flint and scraped the rotten tissue out. This is the oldest known dentistry on Earth, and it predates farming, writing, and the wheel. 14,000 years ago, somebody looked at a friend's rotting tooth, picked up a stone tool, and decided to operate. It gets more sophisticated. In Pakistan, archaeologists found teeth that were drilled, not scraped, drilled, with neat round holes bored into the chewing surface. These were made around 9,000 years ago, almost certainly using a tiny flint drill bit spun with a bow, the same tool used to make fire and beads. People sat down, in the Stone Age, and let someone drill into their living teeth. And then they filled them. In Slovenia, a 6,500-year-old jaw turned up with a cracked canine tooth sealed with beeswax. A filling. In Italy, even older teeth were packed with bitumen, a kind of natural tar. The instinct to drill out the rot and plug the hole is almost as old as toothache itself. But the drill was the last resort. Most of the time, ancient humans did what you do when a tooth hurts at 2 in the morning and the dentist is closed. They reached for whatever was in the house. Across the ancient world, people chewed plants that numbed the mouth or killed bacteria. Cloves, which contain a natural anesthetic still used in dentistry today. Willow bark, which contains the chemical that became aspirin. Onion, garlic, and tree resins smeared onto aching gums. And then there were the stranger cures. The ancient Egyptians wrote remedies onto papyrus, mixing crushed minerals into pastes to pack around sore teeth. The Romans recommended rinsing your mouth with, of all things, urine, which sounds insane until you learn it contains ammonia, an ingredient that genuinely whitens teeth and kills some germs. And for thousands of years, in cultures all over the world, people believed the real cause of toothache was a worm. A tiny worm burrowing inside the tooth, gnawing at the nerve. You can find the toothworm in Babylonian clay tablets, in ancient Chinese medicine, in European folklore right up to the 1700s. Healers would waft smoke at the tooth to try to drive the worm out, and swear they saw it wriggle free. There was no worm. What they were seeing was probably the exposed nerve, or the fibers of the tooth's own pulp. But the theory made a horrifying kind of sense. Something is eating my tooth from the inside. Of course, it felt like a living thing. Here is the part that should stop you. For all their flint drills and clove oil and toothworms, ancient humans often had better teeth than we do. Their skulls show fewer cavities than modern mouths for one simple reason. They had almost no sugar, no bread, no sweets, no soft, sticky food feeding the bacteria. The toothache epidemic really exploded only when farming brought grain, and later when sugar flooded the world. We invented the dentist, but we also invented the cavity that keeps the dentist in business. So the next time a tooth twinges and you book an appointment, remember the man in Italy, 14,000 years ago, lying still while a friend scraped, his tooth clean with a stone, with nothing to dull the pain but courage. Your ancestors felt every bit of the agony you fear. They just had no choice but to face it. Now you know.